There it is. I think I heard something.
Now?
Hey, there we go. There we go. What's up, bro? How you been?
Bless, brother. It's not as clear as I'd like it. I haven't set this up, but I have it.
It's all
Uh,
good. I got a guy, man. He's gonna make it sound immaculate when we're done.
and then I'm working on. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Likewise, likewise. It's been a long ass time. Last time I had you on the pod was when before I even started Talk Smack with Mac MMA. It was just Talk Smack with Mac. It was like
You're,
what, maybe a year and a half ago.
yeah, it was good chats too. I was wearing your shirt the other day to the gym. I still have it, the black one and the white one. The
Fuck
white kind of
yeah.
faded. The white kind of faded, but I'm still wearing the black more.
Same thing with me, man. My white ones faded quickly. I'm gonna get some better quality ones coming soon, and then it's about to go down. Oh yeah, fuck yeah. The lighting looks good.
That's better.
Yeah, yep. Well,
I,
shit,
I
man. Let me go ahead and do my little intro, and then we can get it popping.
wait a second. I think
Okay, can you hear me?
there we go. Yeah,
Hey,
right
there we
in my
go. There we
ears.
go.
Perfect, perfect. We
All
made it
right,
happen.
perfect, man. All right, well, shit. I remember we talked like football before on our last pod, right?
We talked a lot. We talked a
Yeah.
lot.
I remember we went through your entire transition where you went through your little mental issues and then ended up losing a shit ton of weight and looked like
That's
a
right.
fucking Greek
That's
god and
right.
got back in the octagon, dog, and got a little triangle choke victory in the third round. That was like almost it was a little over a year ago, right?
Wait, so I think I talked to you. I mean, after the triangle choke, it had to have been past last summer. So last summer was my last fight, so June 5th.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we you said you think we talked after that?
I think it was before.
Yeah, I thought it was
So
like in March or something like that of last year.
okay, so March of last year, my last fight was June of last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So fill us in
it's
on that. I looked it up, and I see you got a little choke victory in the third round. How did that fight go?
um I didn't feel like I was in danger majority of the fight, but on the scorecards, I might have been losing. Um, I think it might have been two rounds to one. He was controlling the fight. He's a wrestler, so he spent majority of the fight on top. But what the judges didn't score was I threw up arm bars, triangles. I took his back. I threw up a Suliov stretch, which is a knee bar from the back, and I was really
Mm.
active with my submissions. So I don't think it's enough to score in MMA, but from a jiu-jitsu standpoint, it was a beautiful display. And then I ended up catching him in the third round. I had my coach in my ear. He's like, "What the f are you doing? Are you quitting on me? Don't quit." I'm like, "Wait, give me a second. Like, I got it. But give me a second. Like, I don't want no, I don't want to lose right here because it looked like the rest of the fight was gonna be me on my back."
Mm-hmm.
I think with like 30, 40 seconds left, I threw up a triangle. And this time the triangle like was locked in and I finished it. And he tapped, and then I let go. And then he thought the ref didn't see it. So he gets
So he
back up and
kept
starts
going.
punching. Yeah.
Oh, this fucker.
So it was like a last second like game winning drive type of finish. But my last two fights, I mean, I'm not the most active fighter, and I think that's just my fault. Like I need to get in there a little bit more, especially if I want to make a run in the UFC or make to the UFC and then have a UFC career. So
hmm
got a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit.
one thing I wanted to ask you. You have over a year in your last fight, and like you said, you're not the most active. Is there a reason for that, or
To
are you
be
actively
honest,
training the whole time?
of course, of course. I think
I
I
mean,
just had
shit, you look fucking immaculate, so I see you got to be training somewhere. Hell yeah, show them
yeah,
goods, bro.
I got one on Saturday. It's my Muay Thai debut. So I've recently I mean, dude, I've been training for 8 years. I would say active years would be 4 of those years. So the other 4 years, it's either I've gotten fat. I've gotten fat twice in my life, in my, I mean, amateur career, or I'd say all these injuries. Like for the first time in my chase to become a professional athlete, I was out for 5, 6 months this year. This year, I got
Was
an
your hand
injury.
right?
Yeah, I got four fractured four fractures in my middle finger
Holy shit. Okay.
and torn ligaments and a bone sticking out. Excuse me for showing, but this is a comparison.
Oh shit.
Still not there yet. So I took a Muay Thai fight because it's big gloves and I can fight in big gloves. And to be honest, my last two fights were just not just grappling fights, but I wanted to strike and all I did was grapple. So
hmm
this is my chance to show that my striking is where I think it is. And I don't know. I feel all the fight week feels. It doesn't matter what rule set it is, you still gotta deal with all the thoughts walking
Yeah,
into it.
all the
There's a lot of
jitters
thoughts.
and yeah. So shit, go over those thoughts, man. What's going through your head right now? I know you said that you're slowly going through your weight cut, and then I'm sure it's gonna pick up more like towards Friday, right?
Yeah, I've gained a lot of muscle since my last fight. I'm physically, I feel a lot stronger, and I think that making the weight is going to be a little more challenging. So, to like later tonight is going to be like a 2 3 hour cut sitting in the sauna. I'm going to be hitting the bag and jogging, and it'll shut off. I've been water loading for the last few days, but a few of the thoughts have just been I've been out. I've been out of live competition. I'm like, there's a little bit of a backstory to what is going to happen in the fight because, or not what's going to happen, but basically I'm fighting my brother's coach. So someone that I came up with in Tampa who has a student that was line matched up against me and he took it like right away. And honestly, I kind of take that personal because that was a guy that I looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
He coaches my brother. He was one of my first teammates. And now there was essentially no hesitation in accepting this fight. So basically he's coaching against me. And I've been nothing but love for the guy, and he's always given me a place to train when I visit Tampa. And I just now it's like, all right, I'm gonna make an example out of you
About to go in there
and
and
the
fucking
student.
smash.
Yeah, and I think honestly it's a perfect challenge. I think the kid I'm fighting has 16 kickboxing and Muay Thai fights, so I have zero. But I have MMA fights, so I guess it counts. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a lot of factors going into the fight that he may not account for. Um, I mean, I do my studying. I watch tape. I like to plug and play my skill set to theirs. I actually do fighter studies for my friends. I have friends in the PFL and the UFC that have fought contender where I study all of their fights, and then I studied all of their opponents' fights, and then I write and take notes for okay, this is your keys to victory. This is where you find the most success, and this is how you're going to beat the guy. Or would be like game plan. So I can do that for myself, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's a service that I feel like it's a skill that I've developed just by being a martial arts fan.
So I was
But
gonna say, do you do that because you are a fan and it could translate to your success in the octagon by taking notes on other fighters?
oh, absolutely. It helps me understand the styles that are being matched up. It helps me understand and kind of be realistic. You have to be realistic to an extent, and you have to be delusional in this sport to an extent. There has to be such delusion that you think that you can do things that you haven't done yet. You know that you're going to be okay, but you have to be realistic to where, okay, this is what I can do. Um, and then the way I look at fights, man, it's a big simulation. All of the hours, all of the self-talk, all of your life um, outside of training and fighting, everything like kind of goes in there with you. So if you're not on good terms with your family, if you're not, doing good with your girlfriend, or maybe financials aren't there, maybe your emotions and your thoughts aren't, your mental's not there. It all kind of goes in there with you.
Mm-hmm. And how
And
do you drown out the noise? Because I mean, in life, bro, we're always gonna have some shit going down. There's
of
always gonna
course,
be thoughts on our mind, things that are weighing us down, things that are kind of draining. And going into the octagon, you need to be fucking focused. I can only imagine. So, how do you drown out that noise?
I think the way that I try to do it, I don't know if I can show you. I have a wall of not daily affirmations, but there's a lot of days where I do write, put things on that wall, and it's just self-talk. So it's me talking to me as I walk by that wall, and everything up there just it's reaffirming to what I believe that I can do, and it's just nice daily memories. So it's the internal dialogue of how you talk to yourself. And when I'm training, I try to not think about outside life. I try to be as present as possible. And that's what fighting is to me. One, it's one of the hardest things I could think of to do, and will always be one of the hardest things to do. And I'm not getting any younger, and I wanna try to maximize this because I feel like if I don't fight to the best of my abilities and take this as far as I can, that I'm gonna be a poor example as a father for my future kids. So
And that what if is always gonna fucking be weighing on you because you have those thoughts and like you said, you put in the work over this X amount of years. It's like, bro, I can do this. So if you don't give that 100%, it eats you up.
I can absolutely do this, and there's a reason why I'm still doing this. There's a I've started my amateur career 8 years ago. I've had 8 fights in 8 years. It's not very active. It's not very glorious, but I've had 5 wins, three losses. Only I know how close those losses were on paper and on the internet. Just this guy's lost 3 times, but they don't know who I lost to or how close it was or inch here, punch there, kick there. I could be 7-1, 110%.
Hmm.
But it's just how the internet, not how the internet, but just how the fight game works. I'm not going to harp on losses, and then the amateur record doesn't define me. The only thing that I can think of to do before I go pro, because I would need my coach's blessing, is just to be active and just to
Hmm.
feel it and constantly be in the fire and to normalize fighting. I would like to. I always say this to myself, and I always want to do it, but I would ideally like to fight a few times a year, 4 or 5 times a year, just so I can constantly be in the fire and constantly keep my name out there.
So 4 or 5 times a year, say, the stars align and you're healthy, because I know that's a big fucking part is the health. Like you said, you can go in and shatter your finger in 4 places and you're out for 5 months. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? So 4 or 5 times, say everything is going good. How do you stay fucking mentally sharp, brother? Like that's constantly a weight cut every other month. You're constantly training. Your body is hurting. There's gonna be days where you're like, "Fuck this! I don't want to do this. I don't want to wake up early. My body hurts. Baths aren't working." 4 or 5 fights. How do you stay in that mindset of just like constantly grinding?
This is a very good question. It's something I haven't done yet, but if I were to gear myself up for that challenge, I would say is staying consistent, doing more, asking a ton of questions, something I'm very good at. On the mats, and I think just as a skill in life, some people have it, some people don't. But some people pick things up really well. Some
Hmm.
people learn and put themselves in positions to learn and absorb information effectively. And when it comes to training, when it comes to technique and to drilling, I feel like I am that person. So when you're learning something and you're drilling it, those are reps. When you get it perfect, those are perfect reps. And those are what kind of develop into your psyche or your database. So when you're training, whether I'm doing a Muay Thai class or a JiuJitsu class or an MMA class, what you're drilling is slowly, maybe not 110% being plunged into your database, but it's
That
kind of
muscle
like
memory is
it's
forming.
it's a little bit of like information
Hmm.
getting put into your brain, a little bit of a fight IQ being added, a concept or a technique here and there. And like I said, the fight is a simulation, so you can't do anything you haven't trained or practiced before. So if you're not drilling certain things, if you're not believing in yourself on the mats, then that will like translate to the fight.
Hmm.
So, like I said, it's just one big simulation. There's no hiding from the truth when you're fighting because the truth is always brought out. It'll always be exposed, whether you're the better fighter or not. Something will arise from a fight. You'll have a definitive answer for the most part.
Yeah. And back to the amateur record, you're talking about perspective of people seeing your record and what they see on the internet. But at the end of the day, it's like what I've been learning is who fucking cares about the amateur record?
Of
Yeah,
course.
there's a that it's a lot of shit talking rights and maybe marketing rights. But at the same time, like you said, once you go pro, this shit doesn't matter, man. If you go through your
Mhm.
amateur career and you're battle tested and like you said, you've practiced things and tried things that you're drilling on a day-to-day basis on the mats, I feel like that's the most important thing. How am I improving as a fighter over the years to where I'm at that point where I've been tested standing, I've been tested in the clinch, I've been tested on the ground. I've had people put me in vulnerable situations and I was able to fight my way out of it. That's the main thing of an amateur career. So when you start your pro, you're never unexpected. You know what I'm saying? You go into the
Mhm.
fight saying, if this happens, I know what to do.
Absolutely. And in my 8 fights, I mean, if you know fight, if not if you know fighting, but if you know, I guess local MMA or who I've fought, but I've fought wrestlers and brawlers and taken jiu-jitsu black belts and knockout artists. Like I've had a very good balance of danger going into
Mm.
fights. Um, and I've come out on top majority of the time, which you have 5-3, 5 wins amongst 3 losses, and I've never been finished. I've been in positions to be finished, but I've fought my way out of them. So I take that in the back of my head as well, is that I'm here for a reason. I'm not being put away for a reason. I've never been finished for a reason. There's something special that I have here. And with every fight and the more I develop as a martial artist, I get to tap into that.
Yeah,
And
you're
then
a
I get to show
badass
you guys.
motherfucker. Hell, fuck yeah.
Yes.
You know, people
And,
like myself, fans like myself, we love to see motherfuckers like you and see the next wave of people that's gonna take over this MMA scene. So
yeah.
it's super dope. One thing I want to ask you, man, is you
So
said you've never been finished, and you said you've been in positions where you could have been.
a
What the
lot.
fuck is going through your mind, man? All of the eyes are on you. You're, in the octagon, it's just you and your opponent and the ref.
Mhm.
What gives you that motivation to say, "Fuck this, I'm not
It's
gonna let him stop me"?
it's hard to think in the moment because it's just kind of like you're going through the motions, actions and reactions. But I've been putting an arm bar. I put in a few arm bars actually. Um, haven't tapped. Like for instance, I'll just go through every almost finished scenario. My second fight, I fought a friend, but both of our opponents pulled out. So he was, I think, 3-0, 4-0 at the time, and I was 1-0. And we're in family schools, so Gracie Tampa West, Gracie Tampa South. It was a weird mix, and I think the mental going into that fight was just, oh, we're just glorified sparring match, but in reality that guy was trying to finish me, and it just didn't click. I don't think I fought mentally the way that I would have if it was just a stranger,
Mhm,
not someone that I train with, and not someone that like has connections or lineage. Anyways, he put me in a rear naked choke, an arm bar, a Darce. The Darce was really close. A Darce choke. He had
mhm.
from top half guard. This guy threw everything. Like maybe I won the first round, but he definitely won the whole fight. So the last 2 rounds or whatever. But I just remember being put in every submission possible and not being able to stop him from kicking me and clinching me. And it's just nothing I could do. And I didn't get finished that fight, which was awesome because that guy is a black belt now. He was a purple belt at the time. Like the guy's very good. And then I'd say my third fight was against, honestly, he's a knockout artist. Like he fought for Masvidal's like backyard MMA. He's fought for island fights, and he just has like, if you look at his highlight reel, that's not, that don't include me. The guy's, I call it deading people. His name's Fidel Paulino. The guy's super dangerous, and I knew going to the fight he has a left hand that can really hurt me,
Mhm.
and I found ways to clinch him and take his energy away, take him down, brawl with him a little bit, but not let him get a clean left hand off. He got one
Yeah.
off. He got one, and it was like a freeze frame. There's literally a picture of him like punching me. It's like freeze frame in midair because I threw a kick and clipped me. But no, that's like I'm really tight with that guy. That guy has such a bright future. He's up in Colorado now training, so I feel like everything's gonna well round for him because he really just has like carrying that one punch knockout power has to do
It's
something to your
rare.
confidence.
Yeah,
Has to.
it's rare, man. Not everybody possess that, and it's not a physique thing. It's just like you got it or you don't.
Yeah, and I feel like I have that. I just haven't proved it.
Mhm.
So my last 2 fights, I mean, it's just what I wanted to do is knock my opponents out, and it's not so easy to do, especially when they're great grapplers and then they make it grappling fights.
Yeah, them
So
fucking wrestlers, dude. I swear, when it comes to wrestlers, they're just like the most physically imposing motherfuckers I've ever
as
met in my life. They're all built the same, just like a brick house, and they're gonna smother you. They're gonna fucking put their shoulders in your face and cover your mouth and just be an asshole on the mats. I love
I
it.
love it. Well, I mean, it's the most important because wrestling controls where the fight goes. You stop takedowns, you can strike. If you take the person down, they can't. I mean, you're still in danger, but not the most danger. Like you can win a fight by wrestling someone, and it's not the
Now,
fan favorite, but
when you were going to fight the wrestler guy, did you practice in camp? Did you drill a lot of submissions off your back?
I mean, I'm always looking, not even specifically for that fight, but I'm always looking for either a way to get up, or I guess in that fight was it was just too easy to get my armbar or to get my triangle jumps. And I remember just being in a diamond, so not even having the triangle locked in, but being in the diamond where one arm's in, one arm's out, and just punching him from there and just finding a way to like hit him. Um, a lot of my training is cage work and get ups and takedowns and positioning. Like the MMA practices, the pro practices that I go to have very intricate detail on like how to control someone. So not necessarily Khabib style control, but um, something my coach Julian Williams does. I train out of Fusion Excel. It's honestly blowing up since I've last fought. Like, which is so much media in the gym and so much press, but the whole like center of that is Julian. And Julian, he's just excellent at what he does. One, he teaches us like high level techniques, and then he shows us that they work by doing them to us. There's nothing that we could do to them, like to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
So as a coach, that's huge for me. Is not only the intricate detail to developing people's games, is just what he teaches us. He does on us, and we can't stop it. That's how good of an athlete he is. Like he was literally, not to brag on him too much, but Julian we've had middleweights and welterweights, like high level UFC pros and black belts, come into the gym, and this is his thing. He glues people to the mat, so he'll literally nullify them completely, and he's flattened out your favorite fighter, guaranteed. I'm not
That's
gonna throw
so
him.
badass. Like I say all the time, like if you're a beast ass dude in BJJ, you could pretty much fuck everybody up. Because if say somebody takes you to the ground, you could do so many things to hurt them, and most people just aren't ready for that. Like
That's why I like the jujitsu base
yeah.
that I started with. I wrestled in high school, but it wasn't enough to call myself a wrestler. I don't think.
Yeah. How long do you got to do something for do a martial art for until you can consider yourself, hey, I am a wrestler, or hey, I do BJJ?
I'd say wrestler, grow up doing it, wrestle in high school, wrestle in college, and then you're like a wrestler. Jiu-jitsu, I think anything more than 5, 6 years is a good amount of mat time. I've been doing it for 8 years. I'm a purple belt. Because you're rounding off to the 10-year mark, 10 years of jiu-jitsu. Like I'm never not doing jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
It's just where I'm at now, not even in my career, but just I guess the last like 2, 3 years, I haven't necessarily fell out of love with jiu-jitsu, but there's just so many other things to train and well round.
Yeah, and once you're a purple belt, it's like, okay, maybe I should start shoring up my other areas a little bit because I got this shit down pretty solid.
Well, it's like it's hard to spread yourself thin. I like judo. I like we have wrestling class, we have Muay Thai, we have boxing, we have MMA class and jiu-jitsu. And like if I were to do more jiu-jitsu, it would take away from some of those other classes. So just putting your attention and your energy towards uh your holes in your game. I know
Now,
where
is
my
that
holes are.
okay? So I was gonna ask. Of course, you being you, you're gonna know yourself. But do you go like, do you sit down with your coaches and say, "Hey, man, I think we should work on this fight camp"?
Yeah. But for this one specifically, it's just a striking fight. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've still been grappling, I've still been wrestling, just because I need to get better in all of that, anyways. But just this rule set, we have a game plan. I think I never overlook anyone, and my opponent is actually pretty skilled, so I have to mind my p's and q's, and I have to execute to beat him. But I really think the biggest factor, more than experience. I mean, I don't think experience will play too much of a factor. Maybe it will, but I think the physical advantage that I'm going to try to take in by successfully completing this weight cut. I think maybe he's cutting 10 pounds. I'm cutting like 20, 30,
What are you
just to
fighting at?
55.
55. Holy
And by
shit, you're weighing like 175. That's what you're walking around at now,
no, I mean, I started this cut at like 96.
dude. So you're walking around that fucking big?
That was post vacation. I'd say I walk around 80s, 85.
Uh, that's still big as fuck too. I'm only like
Yeah.
165. God damn,
So,
I couldn't even imagine you have 20 pounds on me. So
so
vacation, I wanted to
the
talk to you
goal,
about that.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Vacate, or what was I gonna say? The goal. I don't know what I was gonna say actually.
Go for the fight or go for
Oh,
the weight
the
cut.
goal. The goal for fight night. My last fight, I was about 175. I want to be 180, 185 when I step in there. That's a lot to deal with.
That's a lot, bro. And then putting on, what is that, 26 pounds, 25 pounds of, you know, rehydration and
So
getting in there and
the
fucking some
next
dudes up.
48 hours are going to be really, really bad. They're
I
going to be,
bet, man. I
yeah.
bet.
So
You know what? I don't even want to talk about that because you're gonna be fucking thinking about it for 48 hours. So I want to shift gears and bring up some football, man. Football season is about to be starting. Preseason's here. I don't really count that shit. Who the fuck watches preseason? But season's gonna be started, man. Who's your team? I forgot who your team was.
dude, it's been Tampa Bay.
All right, I thought so. I thought so. Just
Um,
making sure. So I know we were talking about before, Tampa got the Super Bowl, but this year they're coming back. They got Tom Brady back, which we weren't
it's
sure if he was going to be
crazy.
back. And then they had a solid draft. They fucking signed Julio Jones.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, this team is crazy because if you think, imagine Tom Brady, running the offense and Julio Jones is your wide receiver 4. I'm sorry, bro, but if your fourth corner is covering Julio, they are going to get torched. One
And
leg, one
Mike
hamstring, it doesn't
Evans.
matter. And
Who
Mike
else?
Evans, Chris
Godwin's.
Godwin.
Is Antonio Brown still on the team?
No, but Russell
Uh,
Gage, they signed Russell Gage from the Falcons, and he's going to be one hell of
um,
a slot receiver. So 4 solid receivers is going to be able to go out there and spread the defense around. And then you got God dang it.
Not Le'Veon. The running back. I can't believe I'm having a brain
Yeah,
fart
man.
as
The
well.
homie from the Jaguars. I keep on, for some reason I want to say Leonard
Fournette,
Fournette.
Fournette,
It's
Fournette.
it-
Is it? Is it not?
no, it's not, man. I
Dang
wanted to
it.
call him Little Fournette too, but it's
Uh,
give me 1 second. I'm gonna look it up.
I know,
But
having a
then
brain fart
in
as well.
addition to him,
They have great
they
defense.
signed a couple people. It is my bad. It is Leonard Fournette. And then
Okay, cool, 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 cool.
they drafted Rashad White, the running back out of Arizona State. He's supposed to be a pass catching specialist, the guys that Tom Brady thrives with, but this guy can also run in between the tackles. So he's gonna be
Mm.
fucking phenomenal. What do you think is like Tampa Bay's biggest weakness, you think, or biggest obstacle in the way of winning another Super Bowl?
I just think that they didn't not that they didn't show up last year. It was just a lot of pressure to like repeat, and the game that they didn't. Who did that? Was it Green Bay?
The Rams, who ended up
Oh, the
getting the dub.
Rams. Sorry,
Yep.
sorry. Um, dude, I think they have all the tools. I think Gronk is gone, correct?
Hmm.
Oh, that sucks.
But
I was
hey,
cool.
knowing Gronk, he could come back like 3 weeks left in the season and play in the postseason. So there's no telling.
I just think it's so cool that he got him out of his retirement, and they're doing what they did up north down here, and into a team that I just never expected. I've been a Tampa Bay fan for years, for majority of my life, and it's just been disappointment after disappointment, putting too much faith in putting too much. Oh, I can't believe I just had a brain fart. Jameis, putting way
Yeah.
too much faith in him, and then getting blessed with, my opinion, the best quarterback of all time.
Oh
Um, but I,
yeah.
but I
Got
think for them to
super
win,
lucky.
I think they do very well, and I think they're going to do very well in the regular season. Tom Brady's too good of a leader. No matter how, like, he's the one. Him and LeBron are the 1 and 2 of like anti-father time. Like
Yeah.
they continue
Facts.
to perform at a high level, which is amazing because LeBron's one of my favorites, and now I never thought I'd be a Brady fan, but Brady's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, hey,
But
I fucking have hated Brady my entire life until, like you said, he came to Tampa. And then it's like that first year, it's like, I appreciate what you're doing, but still fuck you a little bit.
yes, I think it was just the excellence and the culture of the Patriots. It was just every year they were always.
Beating our ass,
Yes,
everybody's ass. And
I
we
was
all got tired of it.
I was a Bucs fan and a Colts fan and a Giants fan growing up. So,
Three
uh,
teams? How'd you get three?
well, I was big on Peyton Manning. The Bucs weren't much to root for every year.
No, they weren't, man. We were just hoping Gerald McCoy could get 10 sacks and give us something to cheer about. It was it was shit.
And then I was born in Jersey, so I have family up in New Jersey, and everyone rooted for the Giants. So it was also jumping on that boat of beating the Patriots, and that's what Eli did. So I was a Manning
Mm-hmm.
brother fan. But
G-Time.
outside of those 2 years, they were not, they were not uh, title contenders every year. I mean, they would show up, but Eli was never excellent. He was only excellent against the Patriots. Like
And
he'd
you
have
got to think,
moments.
even the year that they won the Super Bowl, I think they went like 8-8 or something like that. I think they were like 4-8, and then they just won all the rest of their games, caught fire, and that defense got fucking crazy. And then, like you said, Eli, the Tom Brady killer, came out to play.
Do you know how much personal fulfillment, and I'm not the only one in the world, that I got, and my dad too, because basically anyone that my dad rooted for, like in football terms, was kind of how I followed. That's like him in life in general. Michael Conlon Sr., Michael Conlon Jr. So he likes purple, I like purple. He
Hey,
liked
that's
the
what's up.
Gators, I like the Gators, and it's just kind of how it went because it's someone I look up to a lot. But the fulfillment in seeing the 18-0 Patriots, the 22, what is it, 22 catch touchdown or 22
For
touchdowns
Randy
from Randy
Moss.
Moss, and then what,
Mm-hmm.
50, I think it was 50 from Brady,
I think he had like,
49.
I think it might have been more, right?
And then
I,
I think Peyton beat that a year or two later, or a few years
with the
later.
Broncos, yeah, you put up like 57 or something crazy like that in only 16 games. I remember that season Peyton Manning threw 7 touchdowns in the first game.
That's unfair.
Yeah, it's funny because before Peyton went to the Broncos, there were rumors that he may go to Tampa, and it started getting hot. Then he went to the Broncos. I was like, man, motherfucker.
I'm
And then
glad
you,
that I'm glad that Brady's back because I mean there was a little bit of rumors of A-Rod coming down, but I
I
don't
was
think it'd be the same.
I was trying to buy into that shit. I wanted it to happen so bad. And then also I was like, fuck it, trade for Deshaun Watson. And then he may get suspended for the whole season. And then Kyler Murray, there were ramblings about him maybe getting traded because he wanted a new contract. So
Interesting.
I was keeping my fingers crossed, man, and holding out, holding fucking every hope that I had for Tom Brady to come back. And he did. We got one more chance at being fucking super good because once he's gone, man,
It's gonna be
I don't
rough.
know what's
It's gonna
gonna
be rough.
happen. Tampa Bay is not supposed to be a good team, but we have one hell of a fucking defense in place right now.
Yes,
All of those
yes.
guys are young. All of the DBs, like fucking, we have 6 DBs that are young and fucking grinding to the top. Antoine Winfield is a dog. Carlton Davis is a dog. Jamel Dean is a dog. And then you look at our linebackers, we got Devin White in the middle that's holding shit down. We need him
Mm.
to develop a little bit more and be a little bit more consistent in pass coverage. But he's one hell of an athlete, as we both know, and could get to the quarterback at an alarming rate, especially at the middle linebacker position. And then along the defensive line, bro, we got Vita Vea, we got Shaq Barrett, we got uh Joe Shoyinka, or however you say his name. He's going into his second year, and can get after the quarterback very well. So if this defense goes and does what they're supposed to do, we are going to be a very good team. Tom Bowles, he loves to bring the heat on defense and bring the blitz. So I think we're gonna have another bend but don't break mentality and trying to get as many turnovers as possible. The yards are gonna pile up on this team because we're gonna score a lot of points. So I don't really think they give a fuck about yards. So it's like, hey man, bend but don't break, give up field goals and cause turnovers, and this team is gonna go.
I'm excited, and they had all the ingredients to do it last year as well. So I feel like we're a little bit stronger this year,
The
especially with all
thing
the experience and the
For
leadership
sure. And
of Tom Brady.
depth, depth is everything. Going into last season, the receiver position was supposed to be a big, like, booming room for us, booming position for us. We had Mike Evans, Chris Godwin again. We also had Antonio Brown, and we had Scotty Miller, and we had Tyler Johnson, them young guys. But then Chris Godwin tears his ACL. Mike
Mm,
Evans is dealing with, lingering injuries. And then Antonio Brown fucking takes his clothes off mid-game and leave. So it got really weird and
loose
very
cannon.
thin at the receiver position. So when we played against the Rams, we were so one-dimensional that it was easy for them to stop us. Now with us going out and getting Russell Gage, getting Julio Jones, we have shored up that receiver room and made it maybe one of the greatest receiving cores ever. It's like, I don't know how you
Julio
could
Jones is
fucking,
still Julio Jones,
yeah, you
even
take
as
2
time
years.
goes on.
Yeah, 2 years he's been hurt, hamstrings, injuries. But I think they're saying he's healthy now. I've been reading the reports in training camp, and they're saying this dude is firing off the line of scrimmage and catching everything. And then if you think, bro, imagine us being on the goal line or like 5 yards and in. and you have Julio Jones on one side and Mike Evans on the other side, you have to bring a corner and a safety to shy over. So that's going to make it a 7-on-9 up the middle for Leonard Fournette to get an easy touchdown every time. And if they don't and they bring more guys into the box, you just hike and throw a fade route to whoever the fuck you want out of those two. Like, we have options. It's going to be one hell of a season.
They could definitely spread the defense, and with the new running back and Leonard Fournette, they can just dink and dump as well. Get them as close as they can in the first or second down to the first down, and then just go deep once or twice, or go for a big gain once or twice. Oh, honestly, dude, Tom Brady at the helm, not only is he excellent at what he does, he inspires both sides of the team, so offense, defense, special teams, to be better and to want to be better, because it's almost like a privilege to play with Tom Brady.
Oh, hell yeah, it is, especially in his twilight years, because people knows that he's still spectacular, as we've seen in his time in Tampa. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? This dude he wins a Super Bowl like every other year. So it's like, it's time.
Seven or eight.
I think he has 7, man. That's insane. That's a record that will never, ever be touched ever again. We thought, was Joe Montana have like 4 or 5? We thought that was never going to be broken. Then Tom Brady said, hold my beer, I'm about to go to work. Oh, I think we froze. You still there? Yo, Mikey, you there?
I'm still here. Hello.
Oh shit! All right, you're back.
Okay.
You're back.
Cool.
Hey, well, anyways, man, it's been one hell of a podcast. I actually ran out of time. I gotta go back to work. It sucks, but man, it always a fucking blessing and a good time catching up with you, brother. I hope you fucking kick ass on Saturday. And when the NFL season is actually in full effect, I'll get you back on. We could talk some sports. And you said you're a big LeBron fan. Lakers are my team. He just signed a 2-year extension today, right before we got on this podcast. So that's dope. So when basketball starts in October, get the fuck back on, and we'll talk some basketball too, brother.
Bro, let's go. Thank you for your time. And you have really good, exquisite taste in sports.
I appreciate it, man. I feel like I need to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's so I can talk the most good shit on Talk Smack with Mac. You know how I do.
It's such a cool concept. I'm really happy to be on the pod once more. So thank you again.
Fuck yeah, man. And I'll talk to you again soon, man.
Cheers, bro. See ya.
Let's talk.